can still remember the first time that we kissed, feeling light as a feather. I always wanna feel like this, but at some point we missed up, right, sugar? And when we find
Hello, welcome to J Sapphire Show again. I am happy to be here, and I am here today to address my last video because one of my subscribers wanted to know what is it about me that I made a statement that I don't agree with everything Martin Luther King stood for. So I had someone to get back with me, and she wanted to know, what is it that I disagree with Martin Luther King? And I decided that I will address it. I don't address everything someone wants to know because it was something else in that video that I just think that it's self-explanatory. I don't need to go back to every little thing. But I'm going to try to address it as delicate as I can, because Martin Luther King stood for nonviolence. He stood for something in his era that may have worked back then. I can't say it did. But one of the major things that turned me off from Martin Luther King is just the fact that in my era, in my life, Martin Luther King has been a symbol. It's been used as a symbol. And that is the very thing that makes my people weak. You see, so I look at things for the way they are. To me, what I see through my eyes, one might not feel the same way. But I'll give you an example. Martin Luther King has a federal holiday. I don't know, I could be wrong. I can't think of another African American that has a federal holiday. And there were a lot of greats. But Martin Luther King represented nonviolence. But yet and still, this country was built and founded on violence, you see, to another man, another race. So for me, I can't say Martin is my hero or I believe in his views, but I do respect them. But you go to state, if you go out of town and go somewhere, just about in every state, they have a Martin Luther King Boulevard, a Martin Luther King Way, Martin Luther King Expressway. And those are the most ran down, the most horrifying places in the whole city, the most forgot about area. And that's put there to make people that's in those areas have hope. That's what it's for. You living in poverty, you live over here, but you know we have Martin Luther King Boulevard. He was a black man. And I can understand how mentally that can make you think. You know, it's just like they say about black people with the thinking and the education level of everybody else. We are looked at as the most we are looked at as people that has such low expectations when it comes to education to any race there is. And I embrace that. I understand. Everybody should. No one should feel bad about that if you're black. But let me tell you why. You are a descendant of a race of people that has been enslaved. They had to steal a way to read. They couldn't do certain things. They were treated unhumane. And you are a spinoff of that. So you tell me, shouldn't you be less than in some areas? Come on now. How can you not be less than in some areas when you are a race that's been suppressed and you come from such a horrible background? So it doesn't bother me for somebody to say, well, Caucasian people are smarter than you. They should be. You have never been oppressed. You have never been slaves. You have never been treated on the same level of what African American culture have. So you should be bright and shiny all the time and excel in anything you do. And I don't make them bad people. I'm just saying we have to understand where we come from, why things are the way they are. But back to this Martin Luther King thing. It's just like President Obama's wife said. I remember she said something in one of her speeches.
Bully, you don't stoop to their level. No, our motto is, when they go low, we go high.
When they go low, we go high. That is the same thing Martin Luther King was saying. When they spit in your face, walk away. When they gun your child down, walk away. When they mistreat you, walk away. When they go low, you go high. But Eric Holder came back and he made a statement, and I felt so good that he made this statement not too long ago. I'm going to try to quote it exactly the way he said, but he said something to the fact, when they go low, we kick them.
They have used the power that they have gotten for all the wrong things. They want to keep themselves in power. They want to cater to the special interests. It is time for us as Democrats to be as tough as they are, to be as dedicated as they are, to be as committed as they are. Michelle always says, Michelle Obama, I love her, you know, she and my wife like really tight, which always scares me and Barack. But Michelle always says that, you know, when they go low, we go high. No. When they go low, we kick them.
You kick them. Why not kick them? They down there. Kick them. You don't go high. You kick them. And when you kick them, you step on them. You see, my point is this. I'm talking about people in general. Anything and anybody trying to bring you down, whether it's white people, your people, they people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When they go low, kick them. And then what you do, you make the playing field even. You see, you take like Mr. Trump. No one's going to beat Mr. Trump in an election. The only way you're going to beat Mr. Trump is you got to go low in the gutter like him. That's the only way. As long as you stick to the true, real importance of things in a political fashion, you cannot beat them. You understand? So I don't agree with nonviolence. I believe there's a time for everything. I don't believe you should make violence to get what you want neither. I don't believe that. But I just do believe if someone's trying to harm you, hurt you, kill you, you have a right and a duty to do what you're supposed to do. God doesn't make you to be a fool. He didn't. So I don't go along with Martin's views. And as long as I live in this world, I will always be against Martin's views because they have put Martin in my face as symbolism. The very people that put Martin in my face is the very people that mistreats me. You see, they spit in my face today and they said, hey, you know what? Don't worry about that. Go outside. Look, Martin Luther King's statue is standing right there in front of your house. What would he do? What would Martin do? You know, they killed all those people in that church. 8, 9 people. Gunned those people down. He went in there and killed those people. In the Carolinas. Some of you, I'm quite sure, know what I'm talking about in South Carolina. What did they do to make that go away?
Good evening. Today, in the shadow of the South Carolina State House, it took an honor guard just 36 seconds to lower a symbol that has divided this nation for a century and a half. The applause was thunderous and sustained. Look at the crowd. After 54 years, the Confederate battle flag was brought down from the site for the very last time. It was a swift and dramatic turn in history, born of the racist murders of 9 members of a black church in Charleston less than a month ago by a man who embraced that flag. Tonight,
Do anybody know what they did to make that just go away? They said, you know, we're going to take the Confederate flag down. You heard nothing else about it again. Symbolism is a mechanism of control. Learn that. Common sense taught me. Why do you think you go places you might see a Confederate statue in the park? Or you might see certain things that remind you of this. Why you still have, today, 2018, why you still have plantations still up. Come on, people. Symbolism is a mechanism of control. I'm not going to tell you or enslave you today, but I want you to take a good look. See, I'm sorry, I have to have this thinking. Being a person of my race in this country that has freedom, that has affirmative rights, that have things such as that people fought for, that's on paper. I realize that that paper can be ripped up at any time. I realize that those things can be rewritten anytime. I realize that those things can be taken back anytime. Why? Because I'm not the one that they say. I am given these things because of being a human being in this world. And it's not for me. It was granted to me. So anything that was given to you, sometime it can be took back. So in saying that, I have to know what symbolism is and how it's used to control. You see, so Martin to me was Martin for his era. I think Martin's views should have been enhanced. I think Martin should have shot back. I think Martin should have prepared himself. I think Martin should have said be nonviolence. If you can turn the other cheek, do that. But I think Martin should have understood that God wanted him to do what he needed to do for himself and protect himself. So I try not to get on those subjects, but I was asked that. And I do appreciate the question. And I felt I needed to say that because Mr. Martin Luther King is absolutely somebody that is huge in the black community. And that's probably something they probably would wonder too. What is he talking about? I'm not saying that we should be violent people, but I am saying there comes a time for everything. And if I can knock on your door and spit in your face and hold up a sign with Martin Luther King's picture on it and that calm you down. Hey, this is the Jay Sapphire Show. I appreciate everybody watching, tuning in, subscribing, asking the questions, and enjoying my shows. I enjoy doing them, and I hope that I said something that make you think, and I hope that you now understand. I'm not going to call your name. I hope now you understand where I'm coming from when I say I don't necessarily agree with everything Martin believed in. But I do take all work for his birthday, though. They give it to me. Have a good one. It's Jay Sapphire. Take care. All right.